All right, Brant, let's shift into the Lions here. What a game. I mean, what a game. I know people are like, the Bears. Can we not celebrate the fact that we were down 12 to the Bears and had to
Who
come back?
cares?
Who cares? Thank you.
That was
Thank you.
awesome.
That game was, look, anybody who kept their SOL gear from the dark days, go ahead and burn that for me. The Lions don't ever win that game. They just don't. Like, down 12, Justin Fields is running all over the place. The defense struggled throughout the game, looked good in certain parts, but struggled. And Jared Goff, 3 interceptions. I mean, it was a kind of game where you're pulling your hair out, but you're putting that hair back into your head when you're talking on Monday morning about a win after all of that. And the way that game wrapped up, too, with Hutch, I mean, come on, Brant. Michigan, Ohio State week, and that game ends with Hutch taking down Justin Fields, fumble into the end zone, safety to seal the game. This Lions team, I know they struggled against the Bears. Confident or concerned after this win?
I'm confident. I am so confident. I do have slight concerns, but they're so slight. And Dave, we say this every single week. It's the NFL, man. And Justin Fields was back and he was balling. And that's okay. He just had 4 weeks off. He's probably feeling real refreshed. I don't care about the thumb. Like thumb injuries, I'm sure he was going through that too, whatever. His legs were an issue for the Lions. And we talked about mobile quarterbacks, Dave. That's where the slight concern lies, and we'll get into that, whatever. But let me talk about resolve real quick. This team never quit, and this defense never quit. They gave up some plays. Don't get me wrong, Dave. It was not pretty for them always. And I think I texted you about Jared Goff. I said, he's having a bad game right now, but this isn't SOL. This isn't throw Jared Goff under the bus. He's terrible now. That's what old Lions fans would say is, Jared Goff can't extend him now. We're not going to give him an extension. He just threw 3 picks against the Bears. What? No, we're not going to extend him. No, everybody's allowed to have a bad game. And Jared Goff, what he did at the end of that game was Stafford-esque. We talk about signature wins, Dave. We talked about him earlier this year. He's stacking them now, man. He is stacking them. And you listen to him after the postgame, he loves this team. He loves this city. He's bought in. This is a guy you want to extend. Like, I think this game, even though he kind of had a stinker out there, this is the kind of game that you want to extend him. He fought his way back to get all the way back, and then he capped off this win. And it was mostly Jared Goff, man, just making the right reads late, putting the ball into playmakers' hands. Hello, Jameson Williams. Nice to see you. Thanks for joining the party. And the other thing I'll hit on, Dave, is this is the type of win, and these are the type of post games that before the season I said Dan Campbell had no shot to win Coach of the Year. That post game, man, it makes you just want to be like, I play for Dan Campbell. That's my guy. And I think that's the type of guy that could easily be voted Coach of the Year. And this is the type of game where everybody looks at. I kind of wish it would have happened on Thanksgiving. That would have been really cool because then everybody in the nation would be watching and they'd get that post game and all that. But still, it's enough for me for everyone to be like, Dan Campbell, Coach of the Year, probably leading that race right now.
Let us not forget the Seahawks lost this weekend. The Vikings drop a game on Sunday Night Football. I know we talked last week about the Lions fighting for that number 1 seed. I mean, we're recording this here earlier than normal with it being Thanksgiving weekend. So the Eagles are playing the Chiefs tonight. We'll see what the results of that game are. But look, the Lions are 8-2, Brant. And while there are some teams that'll give you 8-2 every other year or every third year, the Lions, Brant, have not been 8-2 since 1962. So that is a 61-year drought snapped right now. And it's just all the more reason to say, like, look, no matter what generation of Lion fan you are, and I get it, some people are even more bruised and battered and been watching this team for 30, 40, 50 years longer than we have. And so they just won't believe it till they see it. But I think the general vibe of this team is like, oh yeah, no, they're pretty good. And it's like, even these games, you're like, oh God, of course you would just spit up against the Bears at home and like, this is the game you're going to lose. Nope. We're talking about a win. And like you said, and like we've said, wins in the NFL, not easy to come by. 8-2 is absolutely huge. And I just think that this team is, especially on offense, if Jamison Williams can just give you 2, 3, maybe 4 catches a game and give you that one big play, caught the big touchdown pass, if he can continue to block the way he has and just be a good teammate, that's a huge piece of this puzzle, one that we weren't counting on 3-4 weeks ago. He's coming along nicely. Amon-Ra St. Brown, I can't give that dude enough flowers, man. I cannot give him enough flowers. He is, I'm up there saying he's a potentially top 5 receiver in the league right now. I've heard top 10. Are you kidding me? Of course he is top 10. He might be top 5, Brant. The guy is so reliable. He's got some of the best hands in the league, a crisp route runner, does
Gets 100 yards
right
in his
things.
sleep.
I mean, it's like they know that they're going to him and they can't stop him. Just an absolute stud. Sam Laporta did not have his best game. You know, one of those interceptions looked like it could have been his fault. I think it was that first one, maybe. Looked like he ran the wrong route, whatever. He's an absolute weapon. We know that. You add in a healthy David Montgomery now with Jahmyr Gibbs, who looks to be the number 12 overall pick that you drafted him to be. That O-line stays healthy. This is a top 5 offense in the league, hands down. Like, I'm not even batting my eye at that. I think that they're, when healthy, top 5 offense in the league. And I guess, you know, the defense would be the big question mark after this game and after these last few weeks, to be quite honest. However, if they are a top 15 to 20 defense in this league and with a top 5 offense, Brant, that might just be good enough to be Super Bowl worthy. I know I don't even want to drop the SB on this podcast. Okay, let's just pump the brakes. But a top 5 offense and somewhere in the top 15 to 20 defensively with a good coach, Brant, those numbers can win championships. Those numbers can get you to an NFC championship game. They can. Those numbers get you to host a playoff game and get your first playoff win in a very long time. And so, yeah, I am all aboard the hype train. I know some people want to nitpick and be upset by what the Lions did do or didn't do, or you brought up Jared Goff and the 3 picks. I personally don't care about any of it. It sounds like you're in the same boat I am. Look, 8-2, whole season in front of you. Let's go, man. I am all in on the Lions.
Now, 3 picks at home against the Bears is one thing. Don't do it in the divisional round, type of thing. It did look like some miscommunications out there, Dave. It really did, and that's nothing you ever want to see. But you better see it in a regular season game. You do not want to see it in a playoff game. But you hit on some teams that lost in the NFC, but there's a couple teams that won in the NFC, Dave, and one would be the 49ers, and the Cowboys also took care of business. So obviously the Eagles play tonight, but when we talk about the top of the NFC, Lions hanging right in there week after week after shaky performance, still getting it done. And so Packers this Thursday, Dave, I'll let you go from here because I'm sure you got something for me.
Yeah, I'll quickly touch on the pack here, and then let's get out of here with the bets. This is a game the Lions should win. I think they will too, Brand. I just feel like it seems like anytime they're in the spotlight this year, like the national spotlight, they seem to be getting it done. And excuse me, I read somewhere that said Roger Goodell wants the Lions to have more primetime games next year. So like even just from a number standpoint and all that, I just feel like the hype around this team is insane. They are a better team than the Packers. The Packers are not good. I think they've won more games than they probably should have. I feel very, very comfortable. I know it's a divisional game. I don't know what the spread is. Maybe we'll talk about it. What are your thoughts?
Let's stay right there. Actually, though, let's stay right there. I will give you the number. The number is 7.5. Do you like the Lions to cover? We'll just go right with the bets right here.
I do like the Lions to cover 7.5. I know I was off this last week with taking them with 8.5. You were right. I think the Bears are actually better than the Packers. I do. I know the Bears are a 2-win team. I think Justin Fields is a huge X factor. Jordan Love doesn't concern me. Aaron Jones got hurt this past week. I will take the Lions covering 7.5. What about you?
Looking for my shovel around the garage. You are burying the Packers right now. Wow, Dave. Take it easy. I will disagree with you on both. I will take the 7.5 with the Packers. And the only thing I'm going to disagree with you on, Dave, is I don't think the Packers are that bad. You said they're a bad football team. I'll disagree. I think you said they've won more games than they're supposed to. I think that's indicative of an okay team. Like, they have been skating by, sure, but they seem like they're starting to get it together a little bit with Jordan Love. Short week, grimy game. God, feels like coming off a shootout with the Bears and then the Chargers the week before that. Feels like the 16-13 kind of slug 'em game, Dave. So give me the Lions to win, Packers to cover, and Jared Goff not going to have 3 picks. Don't worry, Lions fans. He won't play that bad this week.